Hi, I got this recipe online and thought I would share it with my viewers. And what this recipe is taking some chicken legs. I love the chicken legs because you can do this. Basically, what you're doing is actually butterflying it, but what we do is make a cut on both sides of the drum. Like this. And this is partially frozen, so it's going to be a little difficult right now, but it actually works out pretty good because it cuts pretty good without a lot of trouble. And so when you're done, you actually see it, it looks like this. I'll do the rest of them like that, and then I'll resume how I season it. Okay, resuming video here. As you can see, I've got all the chicken legs cut up. I cut it on both sides of the drumstick so that you can get the marinade in there and it cooks nice and tender, and also it marinates pretty much more on the inside of the chicken leg, so you'll really be surprised at the flavor. Anyway, talking about flavors, I have, this is the ingredients that I use. I don't use a lot of the salt, but I use regular olive oil and some kosher salt, the rock salt, Mrs. Dash. I'll just go ahead and present it. Garlic and herb, and here's the kosher salt. And then regular olive oil, and also onion powder, which a lot of you, I'm sure, have in your cupboards, your kitchen arsenal. And the black pepper that we use the restaurant coarse pepper. And also, I love sazon. My wife is Spanish, so I grew to love sazon. It is a wonderful ingredient for food. Okay, and so what I do, I just take each drumstick. Let me move my camera again. I take each drumstick and put it into a plastic bag. Now, I don't normally cut it on a plate. I just was kind of lazy to get the cutting board. But I go ahead and put each drumstick into a plastic bag, which I don't have. Okay, I did put each drumstick into a plastic bag. And into this mix, I'll go ahead and put maybe a couple teaspoons or tablespoons of olive oil. Sometimes maybe 3 or 4. And like I said, I'm very cautious putting too much salt, so I only add a little dab in there because we watch our sodium. But I use a lot of Mrs. Dash, which I have right here, and I'm very liberal with it, as you can see. And I also add the garlic, or this is onion powder. Garlic salt, or garlic rather, just garlic, not salt. And then black pepper. Gotta watch what I'm doing here too, looking over the camera. Okay, and then lastly, I'll add the sazon. Over here, I've got the sazon packet torn open, and I add one. I love adding as much as I can to it because it doesn't really have a lot of salt, but what it does have is a lot of flavor. So if you're ever in your supermarket, look for Goya sazon. All right, then I close up the Ziploc bag. Make sure it's nice and sealed, because otherwise when you start mixing it around, marinating it, it'll leak all over the place. It'll be a mess. You don't want that to happen. So be very careful. As you can see, I've been marinating this in a bag, and make sure that the Ziploc bag, I just want to remind you, make sure it's zipped up nice and tight so that while you're doing this, it won't make a big, huge mess. I've only marinated it for a few minutes. Normally I marinate it for at least an hour. It's up to you, but being that I'm excited to show you this, I'm going to go ahead and marinate it just a few minutes more, and then I'll take the next step. Show you the next step I do as far as cooking it. I just finished marinating it, and I unzipped the bag, and now I'm taking it and putting it into my air fryer. Being careful not to get any mess on the floor. And I just shake it around, get it up in there. And as you can see, it's marinated pretty good. Now, if you want to add a little more on top, say maybe some more pepper, you feel free to do that. I believe that will actually bring out what I understand a little more flavor, of course, and it all actually makes up for salt. My sister told me that, and I didn't know. Okay, now I'm going to be setting the air fryer to the temperature and time. Here I have a Power X whatever L fryer, and I'm going to put a maximum time of maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and then I'll check the chicken as I gradually start cooking it. And then I put the temperature in around 380, 375 to start out for maybe the first 20 minutes, and then I'll let it cook. And we'll check on it in a little later. Okay, we've been cooking this about 20 minutes now, and you can see that, of course, it needs a little more cooking, but you can see how it looks so far. So I don't want to overcook it, but I am going to flip them over. What I'm doing is I flip them over. Now I'm bringing the temperature up to 400 degrees. And we have about another 20-something minutes, I believe, 20 minutes. And we'll check on them again. But I'm pretty sure they'll be finished, or I should say, done cooking. Well, here it is. It's ready after about 30 minutes. And like I said, it cooks pretty good. As you can see, it's crispy on the outside. And wait till you try it out and see how wonderful it is on the inside. Yes, sir. Here is the finished product. Got little potatoes that I made them look like supposedly flowers, but they look like starfish. Added corn on the cob for a side, and also little strips of green pepper. Bon appetit.